as I said last Wednesday, not last Wednesday, a couple of days ago, Federal Reserve had a meeting last month, and then the minutes of that meeting came out on Wednesday, and Mr. Jerome Powell had a news conference, right? So what the Fed does is, they meet and then they decide to cut rates, not cut rates, what the future looks like. The expectation of future rate cuts are definitely coming down. Why is that? Well, that's because the expectations of inflation are going back up again now. And Fed had kind of taken a victory lap saying that, oh yeah, unemployment is fine, inflation is fine, economy is doing great, GDP growth is good. Then why are you cutting interest rates? If you don't see trouble ahead, why did you just cut rates by 100 basis points over the last 3 months? I've never seen it before. Fed only cuts rates when the economy is in trouble. Fed doesn't cut rates when the economy is doing well. So, but let's go with their shenanigans. And, gaslighter in chief, I call him. He was out there, he was saying, yeah, inflation is fine. But, so what they do is they issue a statement. And I always take a look at the statement and try to see what the differences were from the last meeting to this meeting, right? Because their words, the words they use mean a lot for future monetary policy. And I quite closely pay attention to what's happening there. So, okay, so what did the minutes say for last month? Okay, and I pulled it out, and there's a tell in here. So they're saying one thing, and then they changed their statement quite a lot. So and the market is reading this as, okay, these guys are saying inflation is fine. Is inflation fine? Do you guys think inflation is fine? Okay, is your buying power going a long way? Has your W-2 income or actual income or whatever type of income you have kept pace with inflation over the last 3-4 years? I don't think so. I think adjusted to inflation, the incomes in this country are down. There's no doubt in my mind. So what the Fed did is they sneaked in a new sentence into their statement, and here it is. So I filed the Coinbase letter. They do a fantastic job finding these things, and so Fed's target rate is full employment with 2% inflation, and inflation is coming down slowly, according to the Fed. And but they're not at the 2% yet. They're about 2 point, today's inflation numbers were 2.8%. So, much better than the 5-6 that we were running a couple of years ago or a year ago, right? When the Fed went from 0 interest rates to 5.5. And okay, so what did the Fed change? So as you guys can see, they underlined they're in red. Whatever changed is in red, and whatever new is in blue. So they changed the statement language, and here it is with the arrow. They said they said stabilized at a low level in recent months, okay, which is unemployment, all right, and labor market condition remains solid, but they changed this next one. Inflation remains somewhat elevated. Well, that's a tell, saying to me personally that, okay, we were thinking inflation was fine. It's hanging around, it's lingering, and we may not be able to kill it. So we don't look for interest rate cuts in 2025, which the markets were forecasting 4 interest rate cuts in 25, in addition to the 4 that we experienced in 2024. Okay, and it doesn't look like we're going to get that. And the forecast now is maximum of 2 interest rate cuts in 2025, and inflation keeps hanging around. That may even not happening. So that's why we're getting this back and forth action in the stock market, right? The market's trying to make all-time highs, but every time something happens, we get some news and then it sells off. So the important thing for us to understand is how we do individually with what the Fed is doing, right? Is inflation better? Are we benefiting from the Fed moves? Is the Fed working for the American people, right? I mean, I understand Fed's hands are tied because Washington's fiscal policy is so messed up, so broken, that the Fed isn't kind of in a box, right? They have to balance it. They have to issue those notes, bonds, and bills constantly and pay higher interest rates. And I don't know. I don't think the average American is benefiting from the tax and spend. Besides tax and spend, print and spend policy,